Hey everybody, Katie here with GYMGUYZ. We're going to be doing a little ab series today. Equipment wise, all I have is a 5-pound weight, so if you have something light that you can utilize, but if you don't have anything, that is fine as well, or you can get creative and use anything that you have around your house that will just add a little bit of resistance here. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to set that weight over to the side to begin with. We're going to sit in this seated position, those legs are bent, and we're going to sit up nice and tall. So shift a little bit side to side so you get down to those sit bones. You'll notice my spine is straight up and down, and I'm just going to start by reaching my fingertips forward, leaning that torso back. Now my stopping point here is when I can no longer keep my spine straight. So if I feel myself collapsing into that low back or rounding through my shoulders and upper back, I've gone a little bit too far. So you'll start in this seated position, fingertips forward. You're going to lean back as far as you can, keeping that nice straight spine, and then sit back up. So what's going to happen here is you lean back, you kind of get that catch point, you'll feel those abs start to engage there, and then come forward. So lean back, spine nice and straight, sit back up. Good, we got 5 more here. Good, try and keep those shoulders down, relaxed away from those ears so we're not bringing any of that tension up through that neck. There's 3, last 2, 4, and 5. Good. Now you're back up in that seated position. This is where this weight is going to come into play if you have something that you can utilize. So instead of just reaching those fingertips out in front of us, we're going to have that weight in front. So we're going to do that same lean back. We're going to take that weight overhead, back down, and then sit up. So if you don't have that weight, it'll be that same motion, lean back, arms overhead, fingertips forward, sit back up. This weight will just make it a little bit more challenging. Lean back, overhead, forward, all the way up straight. Here we go. Here's 5, then we're halfway there. 5 more here. Again, keep those shoulders relaxed away from those ears, only going as far back as we can keep that nice straight spine. Good, last 2. Good, final one there. And then sit back up. We'll set that weight down to the side. We're going to do one more exercise here from this seated position. So we're going to same start here, fingertips forward, sitting up nice and straight. We're going to lean that torso back. We're going to bend that elbow, look out over that side, fingertips forward, back up. Lean back, spine straight, bend that elbow, look out over that shoulder, fingertips forward, sit back up. Good, that was 1 rep. We have 10 total. Here's 2, so right, left is 1. Go 4. 5. You might find yourself shortening that range of motion a little bit here if you're feeling like you're collapsing into that low back or tensing through those shoulders. That's fine. Those abs should be getting a little bit fatigued. Here's 8. And 9. And 10. Good. From there, I just like to round myself over my knees a little bit from this position. Kind of release any of that tension in my upper back or that low back. Stretch out a little here. Just let everything hang heavy. Good, and then we're gonna go from here and we are just gonna lower down onto your back. Keep that weight nice and handy because we're gonna use that for an exercise here. So we're gonna start by bringing these knees up to what I call this tabletop position. So those thighs are perpendicular to the floor, knees sitting right over those hips, and shins are gonna be up parallel to the ceiling. So once you're in this position, you can shift a little bit side to side. So you make sure that that low back is pushing into the mat. You may need to adjust that pelvis a little, but we want that spinal imprint into the floor. And then from here, I'm gonna keep those shoulders relaxed, and I'm gonna nice and slowly start to rock both of those legs away from me, only to the point where I can keep that spine pushing down. So if you feel your rib cage bowing up or that back is losing contact with the floor, you have gone a little bit too far. So that range of motion may just be here, or you may be able to take those heels all the way down and tap the floor. So find that point of contact, maintain that point of contact, keep those abs nice and engaged, and we're just gonna slowly rock those legs away from you and then pull back in. Again, honor that point where that low back starts to come off the floor. That has to be your stopping point, or we're kind of losing that good core engagement. Here's 3. We're going to go 10 reps here. 4. Remember, that range of motion may shift as those abs start to fatigue. So you may be able to tap down to the floor now, but a few more reps here. You may feel that low back coming off sooner, so you can shorten that range of motion then. Good, 2 more. Make sure you keep that neck and those shoulders relaxed as well. Good, and then we're just gonna hug those knees in, release some of that tension in that low back. And we're always gonna remember what that spinal imprint feels like, because I'm gonna refer back to that a few more times here as we move into some different exercises. So we're gonna take those knees back to that tabletop position, and we're going to take those arms up towards the ceiling. And now we're going to go into an alternating side dead bug. So we're going to take opposite arm, opposite leg, and then pull back in. Again, we want to keep those shoulder blades down. We want to feel that low back spinal imprint. So we're not extending that leg further than we can keep that low back pushing into the mat. So we're going to keep alternating sides here. Here's 3, 3, 4, 4. Good control. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, last 2, 10, 10. Good. Hug those knees in. You can rock a little bit side to side. Release any of that tension in that low back. The last one we're going to do down here on our back. You can either go without a weight or without resistance if that felt challenging enough. Or we can add that weight, grab it between both hands, arms up over those shoulders. Knees are going to go back into that tabletop position. And we're going to make this 2 separate motions. So we're going to go arms overhead, arms back over our chest, legs kick away, legs pull back in. Arms back, legs out. Good. So a few key things to remember here is those arms are going overhead. We want to make sure that that rib cage is staying tucked underneath us. So I don't want any bowing through that upper back here. Keeping those upper abdominal muscles engaged. And as those legs kick away, again, we remember that low back spinal imprint. So your legs may not be going that far. They may just be shifting those knees a little bit away from your hips and then pulling back in. So honor those 2 things as your end range of motion here. So arms back, but rib cage stays tucked under. Legs out, but low back stays pressing into that mat. Good. Just 2 more here. And last one. Good, let's set that weight down. We'll hug those knees in, rock a little bit side to side. It's really easy too during these ab exercises to feel like you want to hold your breath, but we want to make sure we're getting nice deep breaths in there, not holding our breath, not allowing any of that tension to sit up through our neck. So you can always kind of just shift your head a little bit side to side. That'll help remind you to loosen some of that tension in your neck. And now we're going to come over, we're going to shift over into a plank position. So I'm going to call this kind of a high plank position because we're going to be up on those hands, those legs out behind us. Everything is going to be squared off towards the floor. You can drop down to your knees if you need to, if that feels a little bit more comfortable. And we're going to start with arms here. So I'm going to hold this high plank position and we're going to alternate, reaching those arms right in front of you. As you do so, I like to rotate my hands so my thumb faces up towards the ceiling. We're working on maintaining that nice hip stability, trying to shift as minimally as possible. Good, nice deep breaths here. Again, 10 reps. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to drop back into that child's pose to just release some of that tension through my shoulders. And then we're going to come up again. So this time we're going to come up to that plank position. We're going to be down on those elbows. We're going to have those legs out nice and straight. And we're going to push forward with our toes, pushing our head forward over those hands and back. So rolling forward, rolling back. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, drop those knees down. Drop back into that child's pose. Nice deep breaths here. All right, everyone, this last one we're going to go into is this high plank position with leg lifts. So we're going to place those hands on the floor. Your modification is going to either be down from those knees, but still in that plank position, or you can lift up to those toes. And we're going to alternate lifting those legs. 1, 1. If you're on your knees, your modification will look like this. Good, here we go. 1, 1. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Good. You keep that gaze down towards the floor. Eyes looking straight between those hands, not trying to look up. 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Good, drop down to those knees, stretch back into that child's pose. Let that weight of that upper body hang down towards the floor. Good, and then we'll just walk both of those hands over to the right. Keep those hips pulling back through center. And then hands over to the left. Hands back towards the center, and then work your way up to that seated position. Great job, guys. This should take you about 10-15 minutes, and just a quick little ab series you can add into your regular workout or do as a standalone. All right, have a great rest of the day. Bye.